Behind the Shades.
I will close my eyes and I will just have this dream or this vision of a place that you can't really describe it, but you know that it's so welcoming, similar to what you shared with us right now. And it feels so amazing. Like you have this overwhelming happiness which just covers you like that blanket from your childhood. It keeps you safe, it keeps you warm. And when you share that right now, it brought me back to that. I remember my grandmother used to tell me that I used to walk everywhere, outside, through the house, in the park, with this blanket as a child. And I wonder how much of us growing up, or even in our adulthood, where we look at something and it just takes us back to a safe place, or when we know that we are marching towards um, we're marching in our life towards a higher calling. I wonder how much of us remember that safety, that happiness, that security of
Mhm.
that. And when you shared that story, it immediately brought me back to that. And when you have these visions, Daisy, is that the same sense of happiness and warmth and security that you get as well?
It's exactly that feeling. I know, like, my second one was, and I call it in my book a homecoming feast. This table, it's as long as you can see. I mean, you can't see the end of the table. And I sit at the head of the table. My mother sits at one side, my father at the other, and it goes to generation by generation after that. And then it's covered in all the food you can imagine, all your favorite foods. And you can eat and eat and eat. You never get the stuffed feeling. It's just a pleasure kind of eating, just so you can taste the food. And my grandmother, she's there, and I have her homemade chocolate pies, and it's just amazing.
Does it take you back to a different point in your life where you have all these beautiful, caring, and lovely people with you?
It does. You feel just you're at home. It's actually no easy way to describe it, really. I mean, other than it's beautiful, the golden shores are there and they're beautiful. I've seen them. I walked this garden that was really this is really one of the neatest ones. It's a golden path. It's this beautiful garden. I can't describe it. But I get to the end, on this sandy shore, and I look to my left, and I see a profile of what I know is Jesus, and he's sitting under a tree on a big boulder. And there's all these little children sitting on little boulders by him, and he's reading a book to them. And I try to go over there so I can sit on a boulder and listen, but I run into this like invisible veil. Like I can't go any further. So I turn around and I go the other direction. And I look out and I see my grandmother and my grandfather and my dad and my mom and a couple of other family members fishing out there in these beautiful waters. And I'm yelling out to them, and none of them can hear me. So I just thought, well, I guess I have to turn around and go back then. So I walked back down that golden path and end up in my bedroom again.
With that said, is there any preparation that you have done during this year that maybe you believe can help others who are going through something similar themselves, or maybe they have a family member that is going through something and they want to help prepare everyone that's involved?
Yeah, you just pray. He answers our prayers, but I prayed a lot more. I pray more, and sometimes I just lay there and have a conversation with him. But if you pray for someone's healing, you're going to get your answer. It just may not be the healing that you want. It would be the healing that He gives them eternal life and eternal health. So just because someone dies that you pray for their health, don't think God didn't answer your prayers, because He did exactly that.
For me, I always looked at when someone passes, they go from existing in the physical sense, let's say you and I right now, where we can see, where we can touch, where we can do all these things. They go from that to existing in the more so the spiritual sense, more in our minds, where they're still around and with us. We may not be able to physically touch them, but we can still feel their presence. We can still see their influence. So for me, it's not necessarily like a grieving period when someone passes. It's more of a celebration because they're going from existing in one state, like here, and now they're existing in another state. And that's what helps to keep me grounded and to understand the grieving period, because it can be a difficult time for everyone around. Is this something that maybe you have had that type of conversation with your
Yeah,
family members?
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because yes, I have been kind of planning out what I'm going to call celebration of life. Picked out songs and some pictures, and me and my daughter, we've talked more about it. But I've given her a list of who I want her to call or email, and I told her to take my phone when I'm gone, so she can have access to anything she needs to reach out to everybody. But so yeah, I told her I don't want it to be. I know you're gonna be sad, but I want you to also be happy. No more pain. No more I can't walk. I'm gonna be able to run again, do things like that. So call this is my celebration of life.